What about G Herbo? So give me a little bit of background on him. I wasn't very aware of him. I've heard the name, but I don't really know much
Mhm.
about him other than he's, I think, Chicago based, right?
Correct. Yeah, he was a 2016 XXL freshman. But of course, he's probably one of the lesser known guys that year. Of course, he's not as big as 21 Savage, Free 21, or Uzi, Yachty, all those guys. But Herb's been around a long time. He used to go by Little Herb when he first came up. He's featured on Nicki's single Chirac, because obviously that's where he's from. And he's been around the block for a while. Then he really started to level up from the mixtapes at the end of 2017, where he dropped his first record, Humble Beast. And then last year, he also dropped Swervo in the summer, which was a collab with the producer Southside. And this one, Still Swervin, is also a collab with Southside. And Southside, you might have heard his tag before. He's also like the head of 808 Mafia, a tag everyone should know. They make a lot of stuff. But yeah, Herbo, here's interesting because we talk about Chicago a lot. We usually talk more about like the jazz rap side of things, the tree of Chance the Rapper, right? But Chicago also very much has this new like the drill lineage, right? Chief Keef, Herbo, Lil Bibby, a lot of guys like that. So Dreezy was probably more in that camp as well, who we just talked about. But Herbo, he's actually has a fair amount of music for a guy who's been still kind of under the radar, I guess. Like he's mainstream and he's connected with all the mainstream guys, but he didn't really have any big moment or big hit until he did that Who Run It freestyle last year, which kind of sparked everyone else to do a freestyle of that old song. And he has, I think my favorite song from him is Everything. The remix with Chance was pretty good. But overall, he's an artist that I've kind of just appreciated his vibe more than any like singular song per se, because I don't think he has like a great project yet. But I mean, what was your take as someone who was just getting used to him and after coming off Dreezy, another Chicago artist?
Yeah, I found this album to just, especially compared to what else we were listening to this weekend, very like jarring almost because it went so hard. Like it was, and it stayed like it was up there and it stayed at a high level of intensity throughout, which I think was good. But I think it also stayed up there so often that it almost started to feel almost like too singular. Like I couldn't really distinguish some of the tracks at points. Nothing really stood out as like an amazing track. I'd say Okay was probably the one that I liked the most. Yeah, I think I also liked Up It a lot. But
Sure.
I also didn't find his wordplay or anything like that to be super impressive. So this didn't really stand out to me as a great project, but I did think his energy and just the songs in general, like the beats were interesting and fun to listen to. So I think that he can be good. I think this just is not the I don't think this is the project that's going to catapult him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the thing with Herbo is he has a lot of different flows. He does switch it up a fair amount, but his voice always is pretty much the same. And I think it can sound a little monotonous because his content's pretty focused on his life in Chicago, growing up and having a hard time with that, obviously. So when he's talking about the same stuff more or less throughout all of his music, if the voice isn't changing that much, I agree the songs can feel samey, and that's even if he's kind of changing the flows or changing the patterns. But I do think he has potential to be great. But this was like, I don't think there's any songs that were really bad. I mean, some of these may have been a little copied together, but it's just mainly all solid stuff. And I want to see him get past solid because like the drill scene in Chicago has slowed, has waned. And he's kind of removed himself from that. But I really want to see him again. Like he had the Who Run It moment. That was great for him. But I want to see some kind of, hit that's like a Herbo hit, because when we think of him, we just think of what we've just said, this hard Chicago vibe more than any like real style. So yeah, I'm still in on Herbo, but I want to hear more.
I do think there's one song he sings on, which is Yerk 30, I believe it is. I think when he sings is actually pretty interesting and decent. So I think maybe if he were to lean a little bit more into that to at least like bring some variation to the songs, maybe that could be a recipe for some differentiation at least. But
right.
Any songs on here that really stood out to you?
I actually like the last two songs, Bolt Chamberlain and Hood Cycle, a
Mm,
lot. I actually thought he paired well with Juice World, another Chicago artist that's quite different than him. Thought
mhm.
Juice's had a pretty good freestyle. And actually, I was surprised. I really liked Gunna's freestyle on Train to
Huh.
Kill. I'm usually not big into Gunna, but I thought that worked really well. And then just a solo song, I really like to Do Yo Shit. So, like, again, there's a lot of solid stuff on here. Um, but yeah, maybe just bounce around with it as opposed to just the full listen. But Herbo, definitely name the watch still. I'm expecting more.
So again, check all those albums out, and you can find the tracks we like the most. Now, Nostalgia Best of 2019.